everybody to SunnyRedemption Sailing. Your... I don't know why I'm being doubled here, but this is my first time with a new audio setup, so apologies if there is any issues, but SunnyRedemption Sailing is your peaceful voyage through gaming news. I'm also struggling a little bit to breathe, so give me a second while I... Let me give Kevin a call. Okay. Just started setting things up here. But the new Sea of Thieves experience is looking really cool. That's the luck voyage, I believe. So let's see how that goes. Two settings. Nope. Okay, sail sloop, that's it. I'm still getting used to the controls for the PC. Anyway. Sometimes it takes Kevin a couple minutes to get on, but once he does, we'll be able to talk about all sorts of gaming news that has happened in the past month, as well as what games we've been playing and enjoying. So... Sorry, I think I might have COVID, but I'm just gonna take it in stride and see what happens. Oh yay! Doot. You there? That's okay. Well, let's see what Reapers are on here for this season. Probably quite a few. There we go. Oh, wrong button. Well, when you play for most of the game's lifespan on console, this kind of thing can happen. Hiding spots. Oh boy. There's gonna be all sorts of ways for people to hide now. Okay, so discover. Outpost inventory. I'm trying to find where the new Voyage type is. There we go. I'm fine with dive into location while I figure out if...
I'm here.
Oh, hey, there you are. Okay, let me figure out invites. Management. Allow friends to join me. Yes. Okay, so you need to join me, I think.
Yep, I'm loading in right now. I'll see if it'll work.
Alright, take two. Hello and welcome to SunnyRedemption Sailing number 2022. Your slightly echoey sorry. Voyage through gaming news. Okay, so I've set down a luck voyage. Legendary. That's the new type.
I was going to suggest that, actually, yeah.
Emissary or not. But
we can check the map.
Oh yeah, right.
We'll just try our luck.
Sorry if I'm a bit scatterbrained tonight.
Right.
I was in the office for 2 days in a row, which already left me pretty tired, but then I woke up and my chest was burning. So, deep breaths are hard. Just like when you had bronchitis last stream. It's my turn this time. Oh, I see a burning blade, but it seems pretty far away.
Okay.
To the north. Oops.
Yep, I'm still loading in. Should be there in a sec.
Get out of here on the PC. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. I can just press F again. Okay, let's get supplies for the ship, as well as repair her.
Why did I get 50,000 gold?
What now?
Oh, it's an early login bonus.
Oh, okay. Sure. Do you want an emissary for Athena's?
Yes. I haven't yet.
Okay, I just put down my vote. Yep. Oh, yeah, I just got the pop about the early login bonus. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah, and again, everybody in chat, sorry about the echoey audio. This is my first time recording system audio from Mac at all. And of course, because it's Apple, it has to be annoying.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty decent, honestly.
Okay. Alright. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. On the back end, but I'll have to see tomorrow. Anyway. So while I'm gathering my thoughts, the perpetrator of the other travesty of November, PS5 Pro, is actually doing two pretty good things. Making the PS Portal actually useful outside of a PS5.
Yeah, I saw they're doing, like, remote streaming, finally.
Nice.
Oh, don't forget to vote for Emissary.
Oh, right. Duh.
I think you did.
No, I didn't. I was filling supplies. My bad. Okay.
We can shove off.
Yup. But yeah, I tested negative for COVID. I'll check tomorrow. And if it is, then my mom won't be able to visit, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were gonna get our
it's just some
haircut
benign
together.
respiratory thing.
Seriously, like, can we have
My,
a respiratory thing, buddy?
Yeah, my bronchitis just kind of, they didn't give me antibiotics or anything, it just kind of cleared up after a few days.
That's usually how it goes, unless it's really severe. And then the antibiotics are super needed, because, like, we have to be careful about superbugs and all that. Oh, and we're diving to location.
Yep.
There we go. Okay, so, while I gather my own thoughts, why don't you talk about the other good thing Sony's about to do? Because I think it's a net plus, and that's acquiring Kadokawa. I only really know them for FromSoft.
Yeah, I mean, they have a bunch of, like, anime and manga distribution and stuff, so that would just sort of bolster their already pretty tight grip on stuff with, like, Crunchyroll.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I completely forgot.
Yeah, so that's the thing that people are worried about. Like, I don't really, from a gaming perspective, I'm not like, you know, it wouldn't be like that big of a deal to me if they got like FromSoft at least, but it would be interesting because I believe Kadokawa either owns or has a stake in a developer Nintendo works with a lot,
Spike
which is
Chunsoft?
or at least no, what's their name? Acquire, I think. I think that's their name. But they're the studio that just put out Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Oh yeah.
They developed that
So I'll
for
look
Nintendo.
that up once.
And they previously done Octopath. And I know they've done some other Nintendo affiliated stuff, I believe. So that would be an interesting thing from a gaming perspective. You know, that they would get kind of a third party that Nintendo has been working with a bit. Yeah.
They also did Tenchu. So, people may know them
Tenchu?
better for that.
A lot of Tenchus. Deadly Assassin? I actually don't remember who was those original Tenchus were, who was that? I don't remember.
Well, oh yeah, Stealth Assassins. And,
yeah,
Tenchu
okay.
2. Birth of the Stealth Assassins.
Okay.
Very different gaming era. But, like, I don't think Elden Ring's gonna go exclusive. I think the age of permanent exclusives is over.
I think this will wind up in a similar vein as, if it does happen, as something like the Bungie acquisition, where it's like, it's more of a Sony move than a PlayStation move. And, you know, if it was like a PlayStation focused venture, they'd probably be more likely to button everything down and make it exclusive. At least in the past they would have been. Maybe now even PlayStation wouldn't do something like that. But similar to where Bungie kind of was more of a pushing from the Sony side as a business move, as like a bigger business move than just like selling consoles. Like, I feel like if they were to acquire Kadokawa, since they are getting more than just the gaming business, I feel like that's kind of, not that it's small potatoes compared to, because obviously like stuff like Elden Ring and FromSoft in general is huge, but it's just part of the equation with that acquisition if they do end up going through with it. Because the like anime and manga side of it is also a pretty sizable chunk, to my understanding.
Well,
so,
yeah.
I don't foresee them suddenly deciding, you know, whatever FromSoft's working on next, I don't see at least that project becoming Sony exclusive, but could be wrong.
The exclusive project that I see them working on is a port of Bloodborne for the PS6.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that, like, has sort of entered, not necessarily directly comparable, but, you know, Duke Nukem Forever territory of, like, people have been wanting this for decades. It'll happen someday.
Decades?
But, like, it's...
A decade, maybe.
Yeah, a
it's
decade.
Not 2034,
but similar to Duke Nukem,
right?
Similar to Duke Nukem, where, like, it's just a thing that people are very surprised had, like, I don't see a very good business reason why it hasn't happened yet, I guess.
That's fair. Let's see, and 1. There we go. That's how to operate the wheeled on PC.
The only thing that would make sense to me, I guess, is if the code is in such a state that it's like Red Dead Redemption level, where it took so long to get, you know, any ports of that.
I didn't realize the code was in a state.
I don't know. I don't know the case with Bloodborne, but with Red Dead Redemption, that was a big reason why it took so long to port over, was the code was notoriously just like spaghetti Western code, I guess.
Perfect pun there.
Yeah.
Anyway. The other thing I could see is just like gorging on the adaptation rights to Elden Ring. Because that's easy money.
There is, I'm not like super tapped into FromSoft lore, but I do know there's a lot. That's a pretty rich vein to tap into if someone wanted to go that route. Although, again, as someone looking from mostly from the outside of FromSoft stuff, I feel like part of what people like about the lore in those games is that they're a little bit inscrutable. So I feel like doing, like, part of the reason people like those, that is the lore in those games, is because they're in game form. I don't know how that would translate to
That's a good point.
another medium.
I hadn't considered that because it's been an eternity. So, oh, what's bear fruit? Oh! Cook it to enchanted and prevent merfolk from coming to your aid. Oh! I see why you would do that. To disguise yourself. I also found traps. I can't wait to put them on the sides of our ships. This is going to be an interesting escalation cycle.
Oh, people sneak around.
Oh no. Audio issues for a second. Anyway. Oops. And on the delay there. Well, speaking of large settings with a ton of lore, Dragonage the Veilguard. Oh man, I've been loving this game. And if I wasn't sick/tired from all the work, I would totally have played that if you weren't on, because it's really good. Like, okay, picture this.
That's what I might get to someday.
Yeah,
Just
no,
so
fair.
far. So it's far down my list, to be honest, but it's there. Like, I might get to it someday.
But picture this. Amazing character action combat with party commands. Gorgeous graphics, perfect performance, and tons of fun exploration and puzzles. As well as interesting stories so far. I can't really say whether it'll be like a good Dragon Age story. Simply because, I haven't really played the other Dragon Age games. I tried with Origins a couple times. Nope. And Inquisition doesn't work on my Series X at all. So I'm not bothering to restart that. It doesn't even work in the new cloud thingy. I tried.
Oh, that's really weird.
Where you get to stream your games in a very limited number of ways right now. Yeah, I don't think it does. It just like crashes from a remote Xbox. So I think the save is just bugged. That's what took down my playthrough of Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2. So, yeah. Urgh. Leave us alone, Phantoms. How about we have enough Phantoms to deal with? Like the potential impacts of the future administration on gaming. And no, he won't ban video games. That's just clickbait nonsense. Based on old quotes from 2018 about potentially looking into it, but then he met with video game leaders and stuff, and they convinced him not to. Oh, I'm dead.
I'll try to get you.
You know what I think it is?
You might be
GeForce
too
Now
far away.
also seems to have
Yeah, you're too far, sir.
built-in audio thingy, and that's what might be causing the conflict here. But anyway, let me think. Okay. So, like, the more tangible impacts are probably on prices. Oh, somebody's in the Ferry of the Damned with me. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, since
we know
we're
the
so
server
new,
is not empty.
since we're so new to all this, though, I'm definitely suggesting we raise the Alliance box this time. I know I was all gung-ho the last time we fought another player a couple streams ago. Oh! And speaking of a couple streams ago, somebody actually got fooled by our April Fool's episode. Where I was like, is Russia making a game console? I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I remember that
But
now, yeah.
they also said, and I don't know if this was a joke of their own, Russia will save the game industry with this. Somebody commented this 5 hours ago. Russian console releases. No game can get onto it unless it can prove there is no liberalism involved in development. This aspect caused it to take the whole console market. Developers can only make games where liberalism is completely absent because the only console anyone buys doesn't allow it. Oh boy. Either this is a really great joke,
or to that one.
or people are just that pickled by the internet.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that neither of us can really tell says a lot about.
But keep the funny comments coming, people. I appreciate them, and we'll reply to each and every one of them until we get 1 million subscribers, and that's impossible. But that'll be a while. Anyway.
Alright, well that voyage was super quick. We got a decent gold hoarders thing out of it.
Well, okay, so what do you want to do?
I can use my luck voyage.
Sure.
So I think we each get it, I assume.
Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Okay, and then, guess I'll just mark off the maps. Oh, right, I have to vote for it, duh. My brain is oatmeal, sorry.
Alright.
Where
are we headed? Ooh, small island. Is that Shivering Isles? No, it's Mutiny Rock. Okay.
Yeah,
Shivering Isles is an Elder Scrolls expansion, never mind. I just named an island that's not in this game.
Oops. Well,
hey, I just worked
games coming out
12-hour shifts in a row. That's where I'm at.
Oh boy. Yeah, one of those weeks. But fortunately, Thanksgiving's coming up. And,
I do have Thanksgiving Day off.
Nice. I would hope so. That's a major holiday.
Yeah, but we do staggered holidays. We do staggered holidays, so we work every other holiday. So I'll be doing Christmas this year. Yep.
Okay, then. Yeah. Well. I'm just hoping I'll have a job next year. But...
Yeah.
Speaking of the future administration... okay. So, while Phil Spencer has definitively ruled out $1,000 consoles,
for now.
For now, well, but for this generation...
Things can change. Things can change in 2 years of a Trump administration.
That's true. That's the thing. I think they may decide to hold off. I mean, I think the AI console, the Copilot or whatever, is probably coming in 2028. And then I can imagine the handheld coming out around the same time instead of 2026.
Yeah, I think if they do a two-pronged approach again, I don't think the Series S was a bad idea by any means, but it feels like now that the handheld sort of renaissance is here, I think that's the more preferred directions for them.
Yeah.
Here on out, if they do another two-pronged low and high spec approach.
First, Xboxifying the UI on a bunch of handheld PCs for years to hold off Valve and the threat of Linux. For now, see what Sony does on the portable front. Get some games on the Nintendo Switch 2 as well. Yeah, I mean, the Series S is perfect for my family. Uh-oh, spotty connection. Great. But the kinds of people who buy a Series S because it's cheap generally don't buy a lot of games. They subscribe to Game Pass and that's it. Or just not. With free-to-play games. You know, or older games or something. And, well, on the TV space, for a $300 console, they were losing money on the Series X. So, yeah, no, it's not gonna be a second TV console this time. 'Cause, like, I think TV developers are a little more used to power, even on the low end, at this point. But, like, a handheld is easier to optimize for, because you could just brutally degrade the resolution to 720p and people will barely care.
Yeah, like you know, people with a part of why these current crop of handheld PCs are thriving is because, you know, people will tolerate lower resolution with them, and so developers will look at that and say, well, we can get this current gen game performing somewhat if people are okay with the resolution.
Yeah, because they tried to find a middle ground between resolution and price at like 1440p, but that was unsustainable. At the frame
by the
rates
way,
people expect.
the chest we picked up was a Reaper's chest, so we're going to want to get to the Reaper's hideout and just cash that in,
Sure.
I guess. Oh, but the Burning Blade's right there.
Oh, great.
Well, that's a bit of a predicament. We could always just ditch it.
You know what? Let's ditch it. They can have it.
Okay.
I'll drop
Yeah.
it off and then...
Yeah. Moved on the island, I guess. Someone
Yeah.
else can... Oh.
Okay, anyway.
Okay. Let's see what other voyages we can do. We could just... Because we haven't actually... None of this actually progressed our emissary that much. We could actually do something that would progress that.
I'm not sure how to drop this. Hang on. Controls.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you're playing. Yeah.
PC.
With keyboard.
Ugh. Well, no, it's really good. It feels very responsive on GeForce Now, which... far superior to Xbox Cloud Gaming for right now. How they keep stretching themselves so thin and then, like, coming to every party late and bad, it feels like. I don't know, but at least Xbox
I don't know. I feel like I've had pretty good experience with the Xbox streaming stuff. Like, I was on break at work the day that they announced the owned games thing, and I played a bunch of Balatro, which again is not a latency intensive game, but I was like, you know, for stuff like that, I think it at least works very well.
Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I cannot. Can't drop it.
Oh.
You might wanna...
Were you able to pick up and drop other stuff, or is this the first thing you picked up?
This is the... I've been able to pick up and drop other stuff, but...
What are your... Did you check your key bindings? I can take it from you, I guess.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. I'll go drop it off. What's your drop key bound to?
Uh...
I'll bury it. What?
Okay. Alright, so... Sorry about that, there was, audio issues there for a second.
Okay.
Because... Discord decided it wanted to switch to a new audio device and asked me to confirm. Which is loopback audio, which said, oh, our trial will give you 20 minutes of audio before we just start introducing noise unless you pay $99 to record system audio. Ugh! So stupid. Okay. Anyway. Alright, back to the strangeness.
Oh, I put a Voyage down.
Okay, yeah.
We can just do a regular old theme as Voyage, I guess.
Sounds good. Also does not seem like anybody is near us. So, I'm feeling good.
Well, that we can see.
Oh, yeah. True. Duh. Oh, that's right. I wanted to put down... I think there is an option for escape his back, but I'll figure that out later. Anyway, I'm gonna put down some traps.
Okay.
Throwables. Oh, okay, so that counts as a throwable. That makes sense.
Okay. So we have Thieves Haven, which is right in front of us, then Crook's Hollow, Snake Island. The triangle we can do. Fortunately, Thieves Haven might take us a little bit.
It says... Okay. Hang on. It says interact disengage is F. And...
Oh. So can we get caught in our own traps? I actually don't know. That sounds like we can. I'm a little scared of that.
Uh-oh. Yeah, next time, for one thing, I'm gonna, look into this more. Because I had been focusing on gaming.
I didn't do much research either.
Yeah, on this
I've been playing this game enough.
I've, again, had hardly any time for games. But a lot have been coming out. Like, today, I think I managed 30 minutes of Stalker 2. And, well, I can't comment on the performance problems, because this opening area was fine. Even on easy mode, this game... My gosh.
Oh yeah, like the original Stalker was intense.
But like, this is terrifying.
I never played. Yeah, I never played that much of it, but it's yeah.
Okay, let me give you an example. Coming out of a sewer, I got ambushed by a muted dog and instantly died. Well, not instantly, but pretty close to it.
Might as well have been instant. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I need to install that, but I need to actually clear out space of my external drive.
And there's so much other things that I've installed and barely played too. Like
yeah, same here. Like yeah.
Well, I've tested a little bit of the Half-Life 20th anniversary update, and well, it finally has a nice UI.
I did install that.
For Steam Deck.
Yeah.
That's
because I already owned Half-Life 2, but I claimed the new SKU that they put out of it. That bundles everything together.
Right, I think that just auto did it for me. Because I saw episode 1 and 2 on the menu.
Yeah, I don't think I ever owned episode 1 and 2 on Steam, that's why. So I just did that to get... And now they're all in one package instead of separated.
I thought they were just giving them out for free to everybody.
They were.
Yeah.
So that's why I claimed it. It was a limited time thing. Yeah. I was like, oh, even if I don't play PC much, I might as well claim this. Because I already owned Half-Life 2, but never bought the episodes on PC.
I definitely remember playing episode 1, but I don't think I synced my, my save over from my MacBook Pro mid-2010. And, so that's lost to the mists of time, but I was only like... I think it was like 3/4 to the end in Half-Life 2 main, and I had, like, just gotten stuck and gave up, and then was like, well, whatever. The good guys won this resistance this time. I'll do episode 1. I'll just skip to that. And, well, you know what got me stuck? Was a turret in the floor that was guarded by lasers. And I thought that I had to, throw a grenade years and years ago to, destroy the mines, but that didn't work. And so I would go through the lasers and then get shot. This was 10 years ago when I was really bad at this kind of thing. I like logical deduction in where there's no pointing out. Which can be frustrating for me even to this day, but I'm better at it now. Anyway. So, yeah, I finally defeated that. And I can move on with the rest of the game eventually. I also...
Yeah, Episode... Wait, was that the main Half-Life 2 you were talking about?
Yeah, the main Half-Life 2.
Okay. Yeah, because I was going to say, I was never a fan of Episode 1, but Episode 2 was really, really good. I always liked Episode 2 a lot better, whenever you do make it to that.
It seems like they, might want to go back to that at some point, because this seems very interestingly timed. And they have this whole
I'm kind of wondering if there could be some kind of Game Awards thing. Maybe not Half-Life 3, but something Half-Life related.
Like the
continuing on from Half-Life Alyx
concept of Half-Life 2 Episode 3, which was just like everybody speculated. The ship, I forget the name of.
Yeah, there were the Aurora. Yeah.
That was hinted at in Portal 2, I think. Or maybe it was the first one. But it was one of the
first Portal definitely hinted at it, yeah. Portal 2 might have hinted at it more.
Yeah. They had like an ice gun and stuff, which was cool. I'd like to see that. I saw
some of the footage of that.
Interactions for VR or something. I mean, I wouldn't be able to play it, but I'd like to be able to see it. I mean, ooh, VR is in a perilous place right now, but Valve is at the top of the mountain in the PC space. Because pretty much every VR game has to come on to Steam VR, and then sometimes they do for Oculus. Those are pretty much your choices for that. Because Apple might be discontinuing the Vision Pro. For like high-end VR, you know?
Yeah.
And you'd have to get a PC for that, for the most part.
Yeah, I feel like just there hasn't really been a market carved out for that in any real way. Just there's not enough interest at this point. I think that's mainly just price related. Like if that thing was like half the price, maybe there'd be some groundswell for it, but
it's not even just price, because Meta has a pretty good price with the Quest 3S at $300, including Arkham Shadow, and I was tempted by that. To like get it before inflation happens. But and I wonder if that could accelerate the decline of like video game purchases and boxes and stuff. Or at least the stagnation. But anyway, however, Meta has a terrible reputation with people's data, and I think that the market has soundly rejected the Facebook helmet. There just aren't enough games for it either. One really killer game every once in a while is not going to save your thing. What's the PSVR 2 thing that was announced recently? Oh yeah, Alien! That would have been great to have at the beginning, when I actually had a PSVR 2 for one thing, and had a working PS5 to go with it. So, do I really want to play one game for $1,100? No thanks. For that price I could just get PC. And I'm kind of regretting getting my Mac Mini as a desktop, just because Mac people are treated as second-class citizens, and a handful of really good games is not a system seller anymore at all. And it kind of sucks. Because, like, it seems like the people are just, you know, they just are where they are. And don't want to add anything more. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Because
like
it's really freaking expensive.
The digital... Yeah, like, just the digital ecosystem has really locked people in for better or worse.
Yeah. Probably for a lot of reasons. Considering how much, like, just financial stuff is now wrapped up in all that now.
Yeah.
And the arbitrariness of shutting down digital games. At least, like, Valve has to tell you that you're buying a license, not the game. But we'll see how the gamers' lawsuits against Sony go. And Ubisoft for shutting down the crew. Oh boy, Ubisoft. Well, I haven't tried the updates for Star Wars Outlaws yet. But
I was gonna say, they also, I don't know if you saw, they updated Assassin's Creed Syndicate of all
I
things.
did try that. I think it's an
I also
Xbox...
did, because I was like halfway through that game, and I ended off in like probably the weirdest place imaginable.
I'll just offer
Oh, I'm too far away. Yeah, so I booted that up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I was at the weird World War I part with Winston Churchill. And so I was like,
what?
wait, this whole game doesn't play... Yeah, there's a part in that game
oh,
where
yeah,
you
I
flash
kind of
forward to
vaguely
World War I.
remember seeing that on YouTube.
Yeah, so I left off last time I played at that part. And apparently it's an optional part, but I went through it. It was like an hour long. I was like, man, this update's pretty great. You know, I was enjoying it quite a bit. So I might actually go back and finish that at some point.
That's cool. I tried it, only to get overwhelmed by icons again, and realize I've completely forgot how to play.
Yeah, well, the thing for me with those older Assassin's Creed games is a lot of the fun for me is just kind of running around the map. And especially, like, I tend to do all the sync points as soon as they're available to me. So I at least have the entire map open, and, like, the icons are a little less daunting when you can just kind of zip and fast travel to the ones you want to actually collect.
That's a solid approach.
And there are at least, I remember in Assassin's Creed Unity, I think that was the worst that the icon bar ever got. Because in Syndicate, they made it a lot easier to just filter everything. Just the stuff you want to do.
Okay, for some reason my aiming input is being fiddly. It's like GeForce is deciding that this is not what it is. But...
GeForce later.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, again, it's good for the most part.
GeForce
It's just
soon.
these weird issues that, you know,
Yeah.
teething. And, well, at least once I get more used to that, I don't have to have a console to stream with. Though I probably will try to do at least one thing from my family Series S when I'm home for the holidays. Unless I just see you and we do something, then I don't know. Let me get some food. That was accidentally. Great. But yeah, not a lot of great options on Mac. Microsoft's not incentivized yet to support it, so I either have to do that or deal with the Windows Virtual Machine, which can have its own problems, and doesn't do multi-streaming, so anyway. Speaking of options, well, Microsoft has said that the InWorld AI stuff is optional, and machine learning is absolutely how they're gonna become the most powerful console again. That's where the technology is going, as I've been saying. But AI is also a risky investment because it has a bad reputation among a lot of people as a shortcut that cuts out human people instead of supplementing their work. Like, they make the point that AI has been around in video games forever. You know, in procedural
That's like
generation.
a totally different thing.
Exactly.
That's like, because the current use of the term AI is totally divorced from any of that.
Exactly. So, language semantics can be funny. And I did not expect to get that ridiculous comment, but people are easily believing things now. Yeah. Like, that Life is Strange double exposure is just instantly bad with no redeeming qualities if it doesn't support the price
I need to finish that up because I'm still not any further than last time we spoke. I've just been working,
either,
but
for the most part.
I might just marathon it this weekend, honestly, because I have 4 days off now.
Yeah, and if I'm sick and I have nothing to do, then I absolutely will do that sort of thing.
Yeah. Though I have heard I'm at the exact point where the game goes from being very good to very bad, and I was already starting to feel it. Like when we spoke last about where episode 3 started going for me, I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. If they continue in this direction.
By the way, spoilers. Yeah. Obviously.
If they continue in the direction that they're starting to veer into, I can see where things will go south. But
yeah,
at least, hey, if the last 2.5 episodes end up being not great, the first 2.5 were really good. So, well, it's at least I can say at least that the game is halfway good. I really enjoyed the first 2.5
because I got spoiled on a lot of things and wanted to experience for myself. And the only part that I've experienced that's different from when we last talked is like exploring the whole context of the postcard and stuff. Because I finally read it for myself, I read the accompanying journal entries, and, well, the idea is that Joyce died. That is a pretty key thing, I think. Because Joyce was super important to Chloe. She's her mom. They fought a lot, but like the idea that Chloe wouldn't feel a little resentful is silly. About that. About like Max trading her life for her mom's because of survivor's guilt or whatever. Let me get out of here. Uh-oh. Okay. How do I use the pulley on the PC? Nope. I'll just try to climb on this ridiculous island the old-fashioned way, I guess. Either that or maybe you could go to the pulley? The other pulley that's closer to you?
You should just be able to use it.
I don't know. It's just like...
So holding down isn't working?
Oh, holding down! Duh.
The pulley, not a pushy.
Oops. Like I said, oatmeal brain. But like, okay. I can see the price fielders saying that this is out of character for Chloe, as they know her, over these past years and all that, and people are allowed to have different interpretations of things, whether canon or fanon or headcanon or whatever. The thing is, it does kind of suck that Chloe is abusive, because, well, I'll try to unpack it without getting into too many details, because, well, you know. But,
yeah.
My Chloe, when I played the first game, was very impatient with me to get on with the next point of the story. So I never really got to explore things at my own pace the way I wanted to in that first game. I never really got to reflect. It just was, we gotta get through this, and this is the next thing. And like, by the time 2 was pretty much a skip for us, because it was just bad. Like, irredeemably so, with ham-handed political messaging and clunky, non-powered gameplay, and that kind of thing. By the time True Colors came around, Chloe and I were on the rocks, but still trying to find some direction together. And I thought that would be part of it, but nope. Just after about halfway through it, I just couldn't get through it by myself. Not because True Colors was bad, but because I had hoped True Colors would be the thing that Chloe and I would use to rekindle the old times when we were younger. But people grow and change, and they grow apart sometimes. And it was sad, genuinely, to reflect on this, to kind of bury Chloe in a manner of metaphorically speaking. But Amanda's cool. She seems really sweet and stable. Because, like, Chloe was fun and adventure and, like, exciting possibilities and romance. Amanda? She's cute. She's sweet. She makes fun jokes. She serves drinks. She's not the most, like, popular person on the planet or a road warrior like Chloe was, but I think Max needs that stability. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
After you've had a Chloe or two, which unfortunately I had more than two. Oh, no! Oh, crap. My inability to drop stuff comes back to bite me.
Oh. Did you look up your key bindings?
I've tried. It seems like interact disengage is bound to the same button.
Weird.
And I've been pressing F and nothing's happening.
So a hold doesn't work?
Nope. I'm just gonna blow myself up. Oh boy. Here it comes. Well, that was me. Blowing myself up, because sometimes that happens in life. And blowing up the people you care about can happen. Sometimes the people you care about blow you up back, but again, an Amanda can be really good. Like, someone who's stable and just loves you. Unconditionally. No impressions, no resentments, nothing. I have an Amanda, and I can't wait to adopt her son. At some point. We'll see how that goes. But, yeah, I'm not so sure if I'll even proceed much more into double exposure anytime soon. Just because Dragonage! So good! Again, the combat is fantastic. There's spells, there's... I'm a rogue, so I have twin swords and arrows, though the aiming for that is a little fiddly, because you have to... Well, they have a lot of key bindings, so I kind of understand. But they have, like... How to explain this? Because it's a lot of buttons. They have LT plus space buttons for specific powers that are on a cooldown. They have arrows that you press right trigger to quick fire and then hold to aim. Which, again, can feel a little weird, but I got used to it. And then you can do the party commands as well. And if you really wanted to, you could do all sorts of things. You could just go in and Batman it up, or you could pick off enemies from a distance with magic and weapons and stuff in the same class and all that, by the way, because there's so many skills and amazing. Of course there's an ultimate because, well, let's talk about it. The fact that I think Life is Strange and Dragon Age and Overwatch and all these things were very much middle of development during a time when people were wanting ultimates in everything, and so there is an ultimate in Dragonage. It's cool, I guess. Like, sometimes some battles are just so short I don't really have a ton of opportunities, but I did have a really cool boss fight, though. I was kind of like, ooh, this could be a really cool boss fight, and then the game was like, psych. Because your party's too weak to do that. That's just...
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, when it comes to the writing, yeah, the Marvel dialogue is a little stale sounding sometimes. But it's earnest, and the thinking is sound. That, like, the previous 3 games were leading up to something, and now this is the end game of Dragonage. I'm sure that the character relationships from past games will matter more, and they'll have opinions on that, and I will respect that instead of talking out of my Dragonage, out of my Dragonage experience, really. Like, I'm liking everybody so far, and I'm not necessarily like, oh, everybody's so nice to each other all the time, thinking that way, because, well, maybe people only saw playthroughs where people were really trying to resolve conflict instead of being firm. Oh, whoa! Whoa! I just went over that rock. Lol.
Oh, rock. Whoops. I was checking the skeleton map I had.
All good, my friend.
After
Anyway.
repairs.
So, again, is it that people want realistic dialogue for the real world? Because it's heightened with fantasy. Like, there's a lot of old cliche lines that are also used, like, I'm getting too old for this, from the dwarf dude, Barrick, who is pretty awesome, but I could see old Dragon Age fans being a little bit annoyed that he's held back in bed, as like the mentor figure. But you know what, like, you need somebody to explain to new people, because what are you gonna ask people to do? Buy 3 other games? That's why the keep stuff is gone. Because there's gonna be such a vanishingly small amount of people that care about that stuff, and about decisions from an entirely other region 2 games ago, that it sucks, sure, that promise was broken, but it doesn't affect me very much.
Yeah. Like, it's been a full decade since the last gaming series. I don't think you can expect, like, everything to be as... You know, BioWare's a much different company than it was even a decade ago. They went through a lot of change with the Anthem, and then we all know how that turned out, and now they're kind of pivoting back into their tried-and-true stuff.
Yep. Well, adaptation drift, definitely. Because, as you mentioned last time, I believe, you know, with so many people coming at it from so many different angles, things are bound to drift. And you can either accept that, and then make an economic decision that works for you, based on your impressions of that. Like, it's totally allowed to be like, this doesn't look good to me, I'm not gonna buy it. Well, you're not allowed to do a response as a company, because I was wondering what I didn't mention about double exposure, and it was the freaking takedowns! Like, disagree or agree or disagree with price fielders, they should have the right to say what they want. You know? Like, come on. That is not copyright at all. Seriously. Square Enix, I think it's just a dumb social media team that doesn't know what they're doing, not the developers, but...
Yeah, like, I don't really put any of that on, like, the actual team. I don't think anyone there is, like, personally rubbing their hands together and, like, I'll get those guys and
gals,
down
mostly
stuff.
lesbians. But...
Yeah.
But they're my kind of lesbians, you know? Like, they're they're cool and passionate, and you know what? We can agree to disagree. From one transgender person to some lesbians. Please, we really need to come together. Anyway, avoiding any implications of that for now. Well, I plan on continuing this show for as long as I can, and hopefully that will be for a very long time. Anyway, if somehow this makes people believe that they won against wokeism, can they please take a look at the Dragon Age sales numbers? Thanks. 'Cause, like, that's the best-selling game on Steam for Dragon Age, and EA's best-selling game since they went back to Steam, I believe. Like,
I would believe it.
Most played single-player EA game on Steam. Go woke, go broke, right? No.
Yeah, sure.
No. People like being able to customize their stuff. And, you know what? Maybe people should just, like, have their own private playthroughs of this game. Instead of broadcasting them all over the internet for scrutiny. I certainly won't. I've thought about doing a This Game Is Fine episode on that, but there's just huge amounts of game to explore before I can really get a solid impression of the game overall, so that'll be a while, if at all. And I do not want any, like, unconstructive scrutiny on my character design choices or dialogue. My RPG, my playthrough. Like, Sunset Overdrive allowed me to explore my identity. Dragon Age Inquisition did too. You know? Like, sometimes people should just do that in peace. And just be able to do that. You know? Instead of getting attacked on Reddit or starting all these comment wars. So annoying. Like, games, at the end of the day, are products that are singular. But what's happened is they've also become nexuses of all sorts of cultural things. And that can be both good and bad. Because it seems like the companies are in an impossible position. Either they try for diversity and get criticized, or they don't and get criticized. There's no perfect way to make a game for everybody anymore, unless you're Call of Duty. Which is doing the business for Microsoft. Because Call of Duty is Call of Duty. It's silly a lot of the time. The campaign is bizarre. I don't know how they keep track of the plot, like I said. And that one level is probably the most memorable level just because it's really wacky. You'll see what I mean when you get to it. You'll know.
Yeah, I do plan on playing more of that soon.
I mean, and in the meantime, whatever choices companies make, can we please not harass developers and give them death threats and stuff either, like as the Assassin's Creed Shadows people got. Can we, like, have fun again? If politics bothers you in certain games, there's Tetris. Like, writing is inherently political, and the only games that don't have writing don't have story. Either for, good or ill societally. Sometimes, like with the Custer's Adventure reward at the end there. Or again, good, you would think that everybody would agree, like Wolfenstein himself punching Nazis. You know? BJ Blazkowicz versus a very Polish name on purpose versus Mecha Hitler. Right? Like, well, I mean, some of the villains chosen for that era are, ugh. Like, how many Arabic stereotypes they have in old Call of Duty games and stuff. But times change, people's expectations change, and sometimes the big companies just can't keep up. Like, I'm not sure what'll happen if Assassin's Creed Shadows tanks for Ubisoft. Because while there's turning around Star Wars, that was a huge loss, I feel like. So it's pouring more money to recoup some of that, not make a profit. At least I think. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of following the Ubisoft model, though. Like, one thing I will give them plenty of credit for is they will update the hell out of their games.
Yep.
Because they do have the subscription service. Like, I think that does incentivize them to keep their games in good shape. Like, you know, like, they're going back to all these Assassin's Creed games. Part of it's probably because they're launching that big Animus Hub thing. They want all those legacy games to be in good shape. So they've been going in release order from, they did Odyssey, then they did Origins, now they've just done Syndicate. Maybe they'll do Unity next. I know it is 60 FPS on Xbox with the FPS boost, but for other platforms too.
Well,
and then I think they're planning on doing it. There's a rumored, at least, remaster of Black Flag, so that will get all of the. If that does happen, then that would get all of the.
That would be an update,
pretty much,
wouldn't it? Just an update.
Well, the game's 11 years old.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I can see them going remaster for that, especially because that's one of the more beloved games in the series. Like, I think people would pay for it at this point.
Yeah, they're definitely seeing that they bungled their own
that original
bag.
game ran at like 720p 30 on like the original Xbox One, so that could use a pretty big touch-up.
Yeah.
At this point.
You know what I would like? Because I can handle that fine in older games sometimes, is for the stealth to not suck in that game. My god. Like, I just kept getting instantly found out and instantly failed in this one mission, and yeah, that's why I dropped this game. I was like, oh yeah, I remember now. So if they want to do a Star Wars Outlaws style actual tweak of the stealth instead of just a graphical pass, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, I could see them rebalancing some stuff, because I do remember the stealth being not the strong suit in that particular game.
The entire not on the ship part was that.
Yeah, like the ship stuff was so novel and cool. Like, that really propelled me. I didn't finish that game either, but I did make it a pretty decent way in.
Yeah, what is a finish with an Assassin's Creed game? Is it the story? 100%?
I mean, I would consider finishing the story, at least seeing the plot through. The only game I've ever done that with Assassin's Creed is actually Unity, of all games. Because I really enjoyed that one. I played it at launch, too, so I really had to brute force my way through the tech issues on that one.
Oof. Well, one game you won't need to worry about tech issues with is Backyard Sports. But I am so bad at it. I don't know if it's just, like, the control scheme is weird on the Steam Deck.
I haven't played, because I had Backyard Baseball. I had 2 of them. Actually, sorry, 3 of them. I had the one that came, like, 2001 version of it, and then I had the one, I think 2003 version on PC, and then I also had the GBA version. So I never played the 97 version that they released, but it seems pretty similar to the ones that I've played.
It'd be interesting to, like, try and grok it on my Steam Deck with your help or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is with those games is they're built on the same engine as Humongous Entertainment's point-and-click game. So it's like it's a point-and-click game masquerading as a baseball game. You know, like it's taking the engine and the mechanics of how point-and-click games work and translating it somehow into a functional baseball.
Yeah, that would explain the delay.
It's the same engine as, Putt-Putt and those Jump Start games.
Oh, man. I loved all those, and Pajama Sam, so...
Yeah,
I'm there
same
with
engine.
you.
Yeah.
And they are
But,
on Steam!
yeah,
Oh my gosh. That would be great nostalgia.
Yep. Yeah.
Since
But yeah,
the nice thing about the
glad
Steam
Backyard
Deck...
Base... Yeah.
Sorry, you go.
But I'm glad Backyard Baseball's back in some form.
Mm-hmm. And a console game in 2025. That's gonna be neat.
Yeah, I'd love to see what that looks like, because I'm trying to remember the last actual release that they had from that. It was definitely in the 360 era, I'm pretty sure. They at least had a few backyard sports games, and they tried to transition to like polygonal and stuff, and it never quite felt right. But that was a long time ago.
That can
so
happen with a technology transition.
Yeah, if they get a decent developer to do them, I could see them working out pretty well.
Like how Sega...
Basically, anyone who's not the RBI baseball developers, because I gave those games plenty of chances, and they were never good.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like
back when MLB The Show was not on Xbox.
It's kind of like how Streets of Rage tried to go 3D, and then they ended up canceling that game.
Yeah, that one was probably for the best, because Final Fight also did the same thing, and that did not go well for that series.
Speaking of 3D games that people made by Japanese companies, for the most part, the Game Awards. So
I saw the nominees. I'm not the type of person who really like when Emmys and Oscars and even Game Awards stuff gets announced. I'm just like, I just can't find any passion in arguing for or against them too hard.
Well, you certainly played them more than me, because I've only really played a little bit of Final Fantasy VII Integrate. Too many giant art games coming out.
I still haven't finished Rebirth, actually. The main reason just because I know exactly where the story's going to end, or at least I have a very good gut feeling, and like I'm not looking forward to that. Unless they change something. I don't know. Like, they could pull a big twist out of somewhere, but the whole Aerith thing, I'm assuming, is going to end the same way. And I really liked how they did her character in the remake games, so I'm not looking forward to that. So I'm kind of I've been at the 90% point on Rebirth for like the past 8 months.
I see. Oh boy. Yeah.
It's kind of like, I'll leave the game as is. Aerith doesn't have to die. That's all right.
Oh, your crush from 1997.
Not even really that. It's just I like her character in that specific rendition of her. Because honestly, in the original version, when I played it, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But again, they do a great job with the story stuff, or the stuff that follows the original game. I think they do a generally great job with.
Not the time travel crap or whatever. That barely makes sense.
Yeah. So I haven't spoiled myself on it, but I have a feeling I know how the game's going to end.
Uh-oh.
And like I'm just waiting for maybe I'll wrap it up.
Or the other giant sword to drop. The other Buster Sword. I mean, I like the gameplay, so I'll see how the story is, and eventually.
The thing about the overall story in Rebirth is you can very much tell it's just like the middle part of a RPG from 1997. So there is tons of padding. There's a lot of just going from point A to point B. The open world's all right though. They do a good job with that, like translating an old world map into a semi-open world.
Mm-hmm.
But like the story is a lot less. It's a lot more meandering than Remake Part 1 was, because that was very focused on just the Midgar section, which in the original game was a very linear section too. So they could kind of be more focused and just tell one story, whereas in Rebirth they're just like, well, all this stuff happened and you could do a lot of things in different orders in the original game, so they kind of just had to decide like, hey, we're going to put this sequence here, I guess, and try to pace it out in some logical way.
I see. Well, I'll take your word for that, because in 1997, I was 5 and playing Pajama Sam.
finish. I didn't play through Final Fantasy VII until like after I'd already played 10. So I don't quite hold the same like nostalgic fondness for it, I guess. Like I do have some, but it's not like it's by far not my favorite Final Fantasy.
Well,
like if I had to rank the games from 7 onwards, I'd probably go with like 9, 13, 10, 7, 8, 12. 12 and 15 is kind of a toss-up. They're both all right.
Seems
and then
like you're on the right side of the island for this new quest, by the way. I think.
Oh, I just saw you picked it up. Yeah, I was actually looking for, because we have another treasure map here too as well.
I'll work on this miscellaneous one because that's all I have the brain power for right now.
Okay.
Well, yeah, like Game of the Year has a definitive ring to it, and
yeah, the one that I'm not, the one pick that I'm very conflicted about, because I'm very happy that like a single developer game even made it to Game of the Year, is Balatro. But I really didn't. I bought Balatro based on the hype for it, and I gave it quite some time. I played, I've come back to it here and there, just like, what am I missing? And just, maybe I just haven't had the run where everything lines up. And I don't think I'm playing it wrong. Like, I understand the concept of it, but I just haven't had a run where I've been, like, super into it. Like, it's novel in a lot of ways, but I'm not... I don't know,
not getting it.
When people started talking about it like it was, a Game of the Year contender, when it came out, I bought it and I'm like, oh, this sounds great. And then, I've done runs here and there, but never have felt the love for it.
Yeah, I understand.
I'm still thrilled. Like, hey, it made it to Game of the Year, which is super impressive.
Like, 1 or 2 people games is really
like,
giving me some hope.
I'm happy for the concept of a single developer, or I think Balatro, at least up until the initial release, was a single developer. I think he's got more people on board now for all the ports and stuff. But like I'm happy for that aspect of it, but the game itself is not really my thing.
Well, yeah, I'm bad at regular poker, so I might try it out with my dad.
That could be part of it, because I've played poker before, but I'm certainly not like a savant at it by any means.
No, my dad can help me with the basics of the poker, and then I can try to glue on the jokers and stuff from there. And again, that these small games are coming out so often and are really interesting is really great for everybody. Like Fear the Spotlight. If you want
I had heard of that before you messaged me about it, but I definitely do want to check that out at some point.
I'm gonna rave about it for a minute, because the atmosphere is incredible. The story is really intriguing. I like these characters. Like, if you want to be like, oh no, 2 Indian lesbians, ugh, then that's your dumbass choice, but, not you, the royal you of the internet.
The theoretical you.
Yes.
Yes.
The enemy from the other side of the screen. That's the problem a lot of the time, is we don't, like, see each other anymore. But anyway. Well, maybe not anyway, because, like, queerness can often be very scary. And risky and dangerous sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. Especially because you have to hide a lot of the time, and I'm probably gonna have to hide a lot of things. I mean, that's fine, because I'm in a long-distance relationship with someone from Africa, so... but it's perfect for this game, because they break into the school library and start a seance that goes wrong. Classic, like, Ouija board movie sort of thing.
Yeah.
With a lot of interesting twists and a Silent Hill like thing. With some Resident Evil trappings as well, since the inventory, I think. Well, kind of. It's a little bit more basic than that, but that's fine because you only are holding a few puzzle items at any time, and some inhalers, which I believe is the mechanic. Like you're not trying to not die, you're trying to not have an asthma attack where the monster gets you. I haven't gone into the part where I really need that yet, but I can see that it's coming, and the Spotlight Man is a really freaking interesting villain. Because this game is all about high school popularity and how toxic it is. The popularity contests are really, something these days. Like, you know what you would like? I know I mentioned about this before, but I need to emphasize. The Art of Murder is all about this exact kind of thing.
You did mention that, yeah.
About the fandom wars, about my franchise isn't popular enough, and people won't love me because of that kind of thing. It's some really cheeky nods to Toy Story, and, oh man, I can't wait to hear your take on it. This is probably one of those things as well where the studio is going to take a while between episodes because it's a small team and animation is hard. Unless, like that guy who did a very shitty animation himself as one person called Joshua the Lion, I think. Or Joshua in the Promised Land. It is so bad. Check out CyberSpark's review of it if you're interested. But, like, he decided to use metahuman models with an AI anime filter to make a TV show.
Oh. Okay.
So, like, he still posed things himself, but he doesn't know how to do that well, and the AI anime filter is uncanny. Yeah. The fact that people are thinking that that's good enough is starting to concern me. Like, if developers that are small decide to use Microsoft's AI tools en masse, then I'm worried. You know what I mean? Because, like, in TV shows and stuff, people appreciate quality and craft. But sometimes for games, people just want to play a game. Like how Xbox has released Slop before. Well, recently actually, with Age of Empires 2 Mobile, which is a pay-to-win grind-fest nightmare, of course. You would think that Microsoft would not do that, but they see the dollar signs, so they're going where the market is trendiest. They're still going to have creativity on the console side, but how long that'll continue, I'm not sure. Just because, like, if the sales of the consoles are flat, and if Microsoft doesn't win this next generation, which could easily happen because Sony could be, you know, could make a giant mistake by making the PS6 $1,000 and assuming that people will just go there, and then not necessarily that, like, those Pokemon won't come home eventually, but that Microsoft will gain an early edge in the hardware while also being a big publisher on their platform. And, you know, blocking them from Call of Duty marketing and stuff. Like, that could be a really good marketing angle for Sony, even if it's just, like, well, the Bloodborne thing for PS6 would basically be the Demon Souls this time game. The remake of an old game that is really good because it's been a couple generations. You know what I mean? Where
is that a skeleton chip? Yes, it is.
Wait.
Alright. This skeleton chip might aggro us. We're getting pretty close to it, so get ready.
Okay, then. At least the cannons aren't breaking or anything.
Yeah.
still
Or we
goes
could
well.
just, sail past it as best we can, and we're near the next island, so it'll
No, I
de-aggro
wanna
us once
fight.
we get close. Okay.
Well, actually, let me check the map, just to be safe.
Okay. I mean, we're like right by the next island, and I do want to wrap up soonish. That's
Oh,
why
okay.
I would maybe not want to fight it.
Yeah, that's fine.
If it seems to be avoiding us so far.
Okay. If it doesn't aggro us, we don't aggro it back.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
It's avoiding us.
But like I can do dialogue now, and voicing. It's stiff and unnatural, but it can be done. Like for a developer that's one person, not having to make your own models would save a lot of time for me, for sure.
Yeah, it'll lower the barrier to entry, but also the barrier of quality.
Right. I'm already worried that basically the free content for people who don't want to pay money will just become utter slop. Like it already is on the internet. I have to say, don't recommend this channel a lot of the time on YouTube because it's all clickbaity and T&A and titillating titles in a different sense. Oh, drop the anchor. There's stuff. Just sitting there. Okay, turn it a little bit to the... Well, that's okay. If we can turn the ship a little bit so I can harpoon it.
Oh, I see it. I'm just gonna swim out too, because that's a little bit of maneuvering.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah,
Great.
it's drifted. Never mind. That can happen. Okay, I'll just swing about the old-fashioned way. Speaking of the old-fashioned, I also tried a little bit of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It's finally available.
Is it working now?
Yes, and you
'Cause I
don't
haven't
have
had
to
time to try in
download
a couple days.
so much. It's only 13 gigabytes, and
Yeah, I did download it, just haven't gotten past the queue. So hopefully,
Yeah,
sounds like that's cleared up.
it is cleared up.
Good.
I'm gonna need you
Yeah,
to
maybe I'll try some
take
tomorrow.
stuff though, I think. And I think I am okay. So here you go. If you want to take
the
the
rest of it
item
sync?
from me.
Wait. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Stupid
I don't know if
error.
it'll let me because it's not letting me.
Oh,
Can you hand it? Can you hold it out? I don't know how you do that on PC. I don't know the binding for that.
oh boy.
No, but something. Oh wait, you can't hold that out because there's like a focus button with it. That's right.
And I can't. Yep, I'm stuck forever on that. Oh well, sorry.
There has to be a way to do that. I just don't know.
I did see something for Escape Us Back at some point, but input. Grapple gun, sensitivity. No. Escape Us Back. Thank you. Wait, if I do that, rather than closing the menu.
Okay. There's nothing left in the barrels, anyways. Nothing good anyway. And just finish up this last island. All the night.
No, that doesn't do anything. Grr! Next time I'll just use a controller, honestly. It's not like controllers do not work well with this game. That was the whole point at first. Well, that and PC, but like, I just haven't really touched that version until now. Whatever. We're almost at Plunder Outpost anyway. Yeah, well... this is the era of... This is an Xbox now, anyway, so... That has a lot of benefits, and some pitfalls, for sure, to try when I'm trying to move from hardware and stuff. Oh! What's that over there? On the right.
What?
It's like...
I don't see anything.
right over there. Where I just shot that.
Maybe a skull or a mermaid gem?
Yeah, let's, I can't even fire myself out of the cannon, what the fuck. Alright.
Well, we're stopping here anyways.
Oh, right. This is the next island.
Yeah, should just be a bunch of skeletons
Yeah,
up on
well...
this middle island.
just focus on finding the... oh wait, this is Skeleton Fight Island.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the point. Well, fortunately we have a...
I don't think I'm gonna have time to do the final quest from this.
That's
because
okay.
I do want to wrap up soon.
yeah, I'm
We
fine
at
with
least
that
made it
too,
to grade
'cause I'm
3.
tired. I mean, honestly, most of what I was doing before you got here, before like we did this, was, you know what? I'm just gonna die. Let me go in front of them. That way I can finally drop this stupid thing.
So is your drop key bound to anything?
Again, I don't know.
Did you
Oh,
check like
yeah, whatever.
the settings?
Let me check that now.
Well, at least you're
Okay.
dead now, so you won't be holding the thing. I'll just let you die.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Okay. Secondary interact is R. That is a very weird name for that, from a neurodivergence perspective.
Is there no separate drop setting?
Well, I
like most
guess the
PC
secondary
games there
interact
would
is
be.
that.
Nessie.
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
But
Um,
but there's not one that says drop.
No! At least I don't think
Huh.
so.
Okay.
Someone just said Nessie, like the Loch Ness Monster, to me. I don't know what that was about. People are funny. Anyway. Okay, interaction. Inventory. Stow drop is X? Oh
Okay,
my
there you
god.
go.
X? Why?
I feel like
Okay,
I've
whatever.
seen PC games that do that,
I mean, no.
or
I
like
get
that part of the keyboard at least.
Yeah, if you have more buttons, you use them, certainly. It's just odd. Because, like, I don't know. I'm very used to the B to drop things. I'm still getting my sea legs
What's
from
your
console.
what's your pickup key? What's that bound
Well,
to?
it's the F key. That works. I just thought,
Okay.
I don't know what I thought. Interaction meant interaction with whatever. I don't know. Again, I'm sick. That's my defense here. Fingers and toes and hopefully not eyeballs crossed that it's not COVID. Like I said, we shall see. Anyway, I'm about to really join in this fight now that I actually know how to drop stuff. But hey, you know what? Funny learning curve moments. That can happen in life. Anyway. Sometimes life just throws you a curveball, or in the world, or any number of things. But whether I'm, like, super COVID-y or not, there's just not anything pressing at work, I don't think, so... If I still feel awful in the morning, I'll ask for sick leave then. And, like... yeah. If it was more than 3 days, I would need a doctor's note, but that's about it. And I've never really taken more than a day or two of sick leave at a time, so should be fine. Either way. And either way, I'll be playing a lot of video games soonish. Anyway. And one of those can definitely be Flight Sim 2024 co-op because, well, for some reason the right flyer still sucks, which stinks because I remember flying across the country with it, and I can't find a thing to just like turn off physics, and unless the AI flies for me. And they did use AI voices for a character, but it's like very
I saw,
text-to-speechy.
I mean, in a game like Flight Sim,
Yeah.
where there's no expectations of narrative, that's where
true.
I'm like fine with the AI stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't want anything involved with AI trying to tell me a story. That's where I draw my line.
I think that's where
It's
a lot of people
I don't want
do,
an
too.
AI generated nonsense story, whatever.
Right. Again, people who... Let's just be honest, a lot of Americans probably wouldn't be able to tell quality if it hit them in the face because they have a 6th grade education or less. I'm sorry. They voted for this. They voted for higher prices in quality games and slop. That's just... This era is gonna be sloppy. In gaming, because any number of geopolitical tensions, like, if there's a war with China, let's say, I don't think that's likely, but let's say it is, like, a lot of computer chips would not be made anymore! Wow. I really overshot that time. At least I had the mermaid, but I did see what might be a mermaid statue, so I'm gonna try swimming to that. If that's okay. If you don't need any
I'm just leading... I'm leading all these gold skeletons to some water.
Good point. Maybe we can meet up at a body of water.
I've got them near the shore over here.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Like... I don't know what Microsoft will use the AI stuff for it, though. That's the question mark here. Because if they use that to slowly replace humans, that would be a problem.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, a lot of things with AI are just getting a little more intrusive and pervasive in every facet. Like, every time I go use Google or anything on my phone, it's like, do you want to try using Gemini? I'm like, no, I'm good. And then it's getting a little more pushy about it every single time. I'm like, well, you know, eventually, just they're not going to give you the option. They're just going to make it a feature of the phone.
That's what they're doing with the next console, is they're making it a feature.
Yeah.
I tried out the virtual support agent with the Xbox Insider stuff, and it's only on the web, not the Xbox with an animated character, obviously, but well, it's a slight improvement on the chat bot that they already had before getting to a human. If that replaces a human, because it seems like that's one of their goals, and is to handle a lot of support queries without a human, because then they don't have to pay that. That's just like the classic replacement of human by robots scenario that they've been trying forever.
Yeah, they were trying to do that way pre-AI, so that's nothing new. I got you, I got you.
I blew a bunch of skeletons up, so all to the good. Well, I also finally dropped it, but it wasn't in time. I am not having a lot of luck today.
We should be on the last couple waves, I think.
That's good. And I have a coconut, so I should be okay on health. Now I'm getting the hang of things. Like, let me see the messages that I sent to you. Though, I think some of them failed because I was setting up my phone as a camera at the time, and that meant that I couldn't use cellular tethering to my iPad. Because Apple. You can't just have an iPad replace your phone if you don't really go out and about for phone calls. Because that would destroy the iPhone. It's all about market segmentation now. If you can meet people where they are and give them what they want, whether it's quality or not, then you do it. I'm just gonna eat this Murfruit even. I mean, it's just, in terms of healing, it's like a pineapple, which is really nice.
Yeah, it's a good fruit, even if we're not using it to repel the Murful.
Yeah, that's great. I like that a lot. Just die already. There we go. Ow! Okay, now it's getting a little framey and laggy. But that's kind of expected with a cloud service. Yeesh. Again, I would love to, like, install this with the fake Windows, but, Windows on ARM is not supported by Sea of Thieves on Steam. Get on that, Microsoft! That seems like where you're trying to push Windows at this moment. Ouch. Yeah, no, for really any heavy input stuff, this is not good at all. Like, the fact that Sea of Thieves is a quiet game most of the time works in its favor here, but I just am basically stun-locking this captain at the moment as well.
Alright,
Oh, that
I
was
did
close, I
lose
almost
one
died.
of the skulls.
Okay,
in this
well, I grabbed
shuffle
one.
Here.
Now that I know how to
Alright,
drop
I've
it.
got one of them as well. There should be one more somewhere. Somewhere up near the top.
So,
I'll take a quick look around, but it's not a huge deal for
This
this
part-
one.
gives me, of the message that I sent you, gives me pause. AI-powered co-pilots, plural, for safety and moderation tasks, including content moderation on Xbox platform, and to help with enforcement appeals. I mean, I guess so, but the minute that somebody gets unfairly banned by an AI,
Yeah,
without human
there's still
review?
going to be a lot of false positives there, I feel like.
because humans are going to be correcting it, it feels like it doesn't actually save that much time.
Yeah.
By comparison? So, I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of time, AI is used for moderation on social media. Like, I'm pretty sure that a human did not, decide to revoke my, like, ability to give them money to promote my post to give myself a false sense of superiority.
I found the other skull.
A human confirmed it later, but, like, it was still just as long as annoying as it would have been if it had been humans involved. And just as arbitrary as all of TikTok's stuff. So, you know what? If they get banned, good riddance. I'm already, you know, moving a bit on YouTube. And again, that includes the, Unite the Cults nonprofit podcast, which has offered me help with my other long-running project on the Baha'i Faith, which was kind of hard to do all by myself. It'd be nice to bounce off of people with that the same way that I do with you. Anyway. Let's see. Oh boy.
Guess we'll just go to Plunder Outpost and sell.
But, like, there's just something that humans can capture that a robot will never will, I think. And that
Yeah.
is
Even
like...
I feel like even if AI becomes indistinguishable from quote unquote, like if it becomes
That would be AGI.
approachable to like real art, quote unquote, like I just can't reconcile it not being made by a human. That's part of art.
Like,
You know what I mean?
only human beings who had to flee a war zone and set up a second studio impromptu while some of the developers had to hide in basements would actually make Stalker 2 the way it is. Because they said, like, they were gonna have a grenade being a dead grenade going off as a joke, but they
We
changed
do have
that.
a skeleton chip on us.
Okay, time to fight, I guess.
I mean, we are near the outpost, so we could probably... Oh, never mind, they de-aggroed us.
Okay. Alrighty then.
I was gonna say, if we get close to the outpost, they would de-aggro us too, but they just decided to give up back there.
See? This is why you'll never beat humans. Humanity will lose because AI is dumb if we rely on that. Like, no amount of artificial manipulation can come close to human motion capture. No amount of human touching up can really replace, like, handcrafted. Though, again, some procedural generation will be needed. It is a video game.
Yeah, stuff that, like, stuff that's already been done and implemented in games like procedural generation, that stuff I can accept because, like, it's used in a non-like...
Oh!
Okay. That turn was a bit tighter than I thought it would be.
And you crashed, so...
Like, stuff like Speed Tree, for example, that just generates big masses of trees. It's like, that's something that's just used in the background and not really...
Right. Like,
it's not an
crafting 500
part
trees
of,
is annoying.
Like, when I'm seeing a big forest in a game, I'm not worried about whether every single bit of it is handcrafted.
Right.
When it's a massive area like that, that's just using Speed Tree, because that's sort of a niche that got filled where, like, developers like, we need big, vast areas of realistic looking trees, and a company decided, hey, let's do that.
Yeah. And like, middleware is just important no matter what, because we live in an age of
I think there's a big distinction to be made between, like, middleware like that's already been being used in games for decades, and trying to, like, use AI to concoct a narrative or replace a lot of human work a lot of human creative work, specifically.
That they want to do, basically.
Because a lot of the stuff that Speed Tree replaced was a lot of busy grunt work, like where in older games, a lot of those spaces would have to be manually populated with stuff, or have bespoke written, ways to create those things. Like, for example, Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall. That was a massive game that required a lot of effort to make as big as it was. And so, when, the middleware that replaced that was replacing human labor, but not in a way that I think
humans cared about.
Yeah, it was a net benefit. It was like, oh, great. Now we can get this program to do a lot of the grunt work for us.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get into stuff like replacing voice actors or artists.
Or just...
That's where it's...
touching up a...
much more of a problem.
Or just touching up a Lyra template and tying it into the blockchain, like a lot of crypto slop has. If you're interested in learning more about that, the channel JAUWN is really good for that. Though I think he wants to eventually move on from that and do other stuff, which makes sense.
Yeah, I think I've had about enough of the crypto nonsense for one lifetime.
It's still pretty funny to see for me. Just like the amount of fails behind that, and the just shoveling of money. Because that's the other thing. The fact of the matter is that they put a lot of money in it. They're hoping to collect an investment. But it's a huge risk. Like, Intel, I remember seeing them at a summit where they were like, we're gonna innovate every year and extend Moore's Law out so long, and these are gonna have great applications for the military and stuff like that. We'll see. At least the US and China are not giving AI control to nukes. We've all seen Terminator by now. At least I would hope. If you're making decisions around nuclear weapons and AI. Or at least heard of it.
Yeah.
But, like, now they're in talks to be acquired by Apple. Because they blew a whole bunch of money on this pipe dream while neglecting their, I believe it was Alder Lake CPUs and stuff that were bad? I don't remember off the top of my head. A lot of things going on. Anyway, let's vote to lower emissary. Okay, so when's the next time you'll be on?
Possibly Saturday. Either Saturday or Sunday might. If either of those days would work for you.
Well, Saturday will only work if my mom's not there.
Oh,
Otherwise,
okay.
Sunday. And,
Okay, let's plan for now on Sunday then, and if Saturday happens to be available for you, just let me know.
okay, sounds good. Well.
Alright, that went very well.
Yeah, and I'll diagnose the audio issues. Every little bit is improving, and I can't believe we've done almost 25 episodes of that. Next year, my goal is...
All sounded... It might have sounded different on the stream or on your end, but it sounded fine on my end.
That's good.
At the very least.
Yeah, well, I will check that tomorrow and keep improving, and the goal for next year is to touch up old content, like dozens, almost a couple dozen episodes worth of thumbnail design and chaptering and stuff like that, and shorts. Moving those over from TikTok, just in case it gets banned. Like what happened to the 5th episode that is lost permanently, other than a short, because TikTok glitched out. I'm glad I don't have to rely solely on them anymore. Anyway, you have a good one, my friend.
Yeah, I'll catch you this weekend at some point.
Sounds like a plan.